What's up? It's Louis. I'm at the Botanical Gardens. Isn't it nice? There's lots of flowers here. Some of the flowers reminded me of the story Marigolds. Elizabeth, the protagonist of Marigolds, changed in the story the way a flower starts out as a seed and grows into a full bloom. But how Elizabeth changes and how a flower grows aren't exactly the same. I'll show you what I mean. The author pieces together different parts of Elizabeth to create the main messages of the story. Those messages are the themes of the story. Elizabeth is a complex character, and the story has several themes. We'll look at one. Piecing together a story's theme is a lot like putting a jigsaw puzzle together. Let's put together the character of Elizabeth like a puzzle and see what the story's theme is. Characters like Elizabeth say and do lots of things. The choices characters make and how they act contribute to who they are and who they will become. Those traits give us a complete picture of the character. That's called characterization. Characterization helps build the story's theme. Let's put the pieces of the puzzle from earlier together and work out Elizabeth's characterization and see how it builds one of the themes of Marigolds. Let's split up characterization into two types, direct and indirect. Direct characterization is what the narrator or another character says about Elizabeth. The story is in the first person, so let's see what Elizabeth says about herself. In the beginning of the story, Elizabeth recalls the Great Depression and the emotional impact it had on her parents. She says she remembers the chaotic emotions of adolescence. Let's boil that down and say Elizabeth was immature or innocent. At the end of the story, when Elizabeth realizes the pain she causes Miss Lottie, she says, "This was the beginning of compassion, and one cannot have both compassion and innocence." So, by the end of the story, Elizabeth appears to be compassionate and mature. An indirect characterization would be something that Elizabeth does in the story. At the beginning of the story, Elizabeth throws stones at Miss Lottie's flowers, taunting and teasing the woman who boils with rage. Elizabeth thinks what she is doing is fun. That goes along with immature and innocent. At the end of the story, in a fit of rage, Elizabeth destroys Lottie's marigold garden, but quickly regrets her actions. Elizabeth is filled with shame and pleads with Miss Lottie to replant the garden. Elizabeth discovers the marigolds were more than flowers for the old woman. They were the only sources of joy and beauty in her life. That lines up with compassionate and mature. Put together the two pieces for the beginning and the two pieces for the end, and we can see the theme of the story. In this case, the theme of the story is maturity begins when you learn compassion. I'm glad Elizabeth learned compassion, aren't you? You can make your own puzzle to figure out the themes of different stories. And if you get a chance to see a botanical garden, go! I'm sure you'll find some marigolds.